There we go. That's what I need to do. Awesome, you guys. Welcome to March. I saw an interesting thing this morning that stated as of, I think it was today or tomorrow, the sun will set at 7:13 p.m. and it will not set before 7 p.m. until October. So I feel like there is light at the end of the tunnel, which we can all stand and be thankful for at this point in time. So first thing, of course, I want to do is I would love for you to kind of share with me some fun things that are going on in your world. You can text me, you can put them in the chat. I don't really care. Just something that you're celebrating today. John is in the sun, so I automatically know what his is. However, the rest of us who are in gloomy, rainy Minnesota, at least where I am, let me know. What do you got? Simple things, fun things, no things, hot coffee. Doesn't matter. Whatever it is, feel free to text me, throw it in the chat. Just want to kind of see where you guys are at and what sort of fun we are having today.
Well, I can go. I tapped some maple trees Sunday.
Ooh. All right. So we're learning that Sean's going to share maple syrup with everybody because it's an absolute treat and an exorbitant process, which is good.
North Dakota maple syrup, not Minnesota. I did that last year.
I feel is one better than the other? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had North Dakota maple.
I haven't yet either, but I will tell you the Minnesota maples are awfully good.
Okay.
Of course, if you're a diabetic, you don't want to eat a lot of pancakes or waffles, but you can dip them in your sausage links and enjoy them that way as well. Or you can use them in type of sauces and cooking. I use it for a lot of different recipes, actually.
There you go. Awesome. Barbara is sharing, celebrating my granddaughter's 6th birthday today. That's pretty exciting stuff. I love that. Checking my phone. I see people are excited about waking up, which is good. Coffee, same. Which I'm good. Sunshine, don't rub it in. So that's totally fine. It's totally fine. We'll live to fight another day. Today, we have a couple things that we're going to share with you guys just around, I guess, what we've done, what we have coming forward for you. And then at the end of this thing, I got a little tactic that I've been toying with that I think is going to work really well for you guys if you have any dead leads. So I'm going to share with you a really simple text message that I've found to be incredibly useful in getting responses to people. So we're going to talk through that. And then lastly, I'm going to share some earth-shattering news for you, which should be fun. And by earth-shattering, it's probably not going to change anything in your world, but as people that I want to be educated and informed, I'm going to share it with you. So to kind of kick this thing off, just as a reminder, you should have seen and hopefully continue to see and share posting inside of your socials, inside of your buyer presentations, your seller presentations, an incredible honor that we did together, which I'm super proud of, and that's remaining the #1 Coldwell Banker affiliate in the state of Minnesota. This is kind of a big deal, and so we say on the affiliate side, right? Because CBR, the corporate-owned stuff out of the metro, is going to maintain that because they have one office that's like 4 times the size of our company. But nevertheless, we are still really proud of the work that we have done and continue to do. It's been pretty fun to hear some stories. March is picking up, which is really good. If anybody was on the David Arbit data dive, you'll hopefully hear some good information, unless you're in Bemidji. And then Bemidji is the only balanced market, and in the state right now, everybody is still undersupplied, but Bemidji is the only one that's ringing true. And so the spring market is picking up for the rest of us pretty aggressively, pretty quick, which has been not a bad thing. It's just certainly a thing that we're doing. So anyway, very proud of this. I want to make sure you guys know this. If you don't know where to find this graphic, please text me, and I will help get this to you if you want to put it into something. Otherwise, you can find it on the social channels. Faith has done a great job putting it out there. It should be available to you in many other ways, so you feel free to let me know in the event that you need that. I also want to reiterate this. I had a couple people ask questions about this. This is Minnesota specific right now. This is Minnesota funding, okay? But this is the first generation home buyers. So this is a down payment assistance program program that you provided your lender is aware of and knows the process, which is a question in and of itself. However, there are still 70% funds remain available to your consumers. So that's a pretty cool thing. So if you get buyers who are struggling either with a down payment or if they are in a position where they are considered a first generation, potentially for a rate buy down or whatever else, you can go through this process and potentially have funds available. This is something you want to start before you do the home buying process. So like this would come up in your buyer consultation, and then make sure you have a lending partner that is aware of this and knows how to do the application, because it's a little tedious on the front side. But we've had a couple of you guys share that you've gone through this and had really good success. So this is the first gen dpa.org that will bring you through that space and do some pretty cool things. So I just wanted to remind you because a couple people had questions on that, which I think is super fun as well. Now, the other exciting thing is that you don't have to hear from me all day. We're going to try to let other people talk today, which is going to be really fun. Congrats, Park Rapids. You guys win for the amount of people in the same building on the call. So that's fun and exciting. Kudos to you as Cindy just joined. So, hi, Cindy. Welcome to us. Anyway, so I want to let you in. Katie's going to share a little bit with you guys really around some of our lead routing process. And I want you to give her kudos for the graphic that she put up, okay? If any of you have ever had a stress test done on your heart, you will know that these are leads for the heart monitors, right? So she was very giddy yesterday when I saw her about these. So I'll let Katie take it away from here. Let me know when you want the slides advanced.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Hi, everybody. For those that don't know me, I'm Katie. I run the Park Rapids and Bemidji offices. And so I wanted to talk about, we've worked really hard to make sure that the lead routing through back at you is correct so that you guys aren't getting leads from somewhere different in the state that you shouldn't be getting. We think we have it figured out. If you end up with a lead that shouldn't be in your area, please let me know. Shoot me an email so that I can fix it. But part of that is I wanted to talk about how the leads are routed through our system so that everybody's aware. Next slide. So it's really, really easy graphic, right? So the lead is received from the lead source, which can be our websites through Coldwell Banker Corporate, your website in particular. And the computer will figure out, did the client pick an agent? And they can pick an agent in two different ways. One, they can go straight to your profile, your website, and then any inquiry that they put on, if they're on your website, will come directly to you as an agent. And then you have 24 hours to accept those direct leads. Okay. So even though there are direct leads, you still have to accept them. That time frame is 24 hours. Okay. The other way that they can pick you is if they're looking at your listing in particular. So if it's your listing, but it's on the company website, and they ask for an inquiry, those leads go directly to the listing agent. That's how the system's set up. Okay. So if they don't pick an agent, but they pick a property, then the leads route to the nearest office to that zip code of the property. And so what I've done is I split up the whole state between all of our offices, all of Minnesota. North Fargo obviously has all of North Dakota. So, but Minnesota's split up between the rest of our offices, so that the lead routes to the nearest office. Now, this means that some of the agents in Sauk Center are going to get leads from the cities. I would recommend that you lean on your referral network or send it to us so we can help refer those clients out, and you can still get a referral fee from those because, referral money is easy money. So that's what happens there. Once it routes to the nearest office, it's sent in a round robin fashion throughout all of the agents within that office. And so the last person to accept the lead goes on the bottom of the list for the next lead that comes through. On those leads, you have 5 minutes to accept the lead. When they come in as round robin, they're essentially cold leads. You have 5 minutes to accept that. Okay. Any questions about any of that? Seeing none, we will move on. Okay, next slide. The other thing I wanted to let you guys know is that corporate Coldwell Banker is using AI to change how they're differentiating leads that'll come from them. So you'll see when you get a lead, your little text message or email, whatever you've decided to get, you'll see the lead will be marked with either hot, warm, or just a lead. And so if it's marked hot, their AI systems have gone through and they've found out that this particular person has looked at property tax information, looked at a home evaluation for their home, is likely to make an offer because they've searched on the internet that they are how to make an offer on a property, right? Looked at schools, have looked at finding an agent, have looked at mortgage lenders. And so if it's a hot lead, it is more likely per AI to be able to be converted a little quicker. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing that they're doing. We'll see how that goes. Warm leads mean that they've looked at the website multiple times, but there's not a whole lot of data. If they're just labeled as a lead, then there's no data available. But this will be interesting how this works out and if it's accurate or not. So you guys let me know because I'll be interested to hear when you get these leads if they're accurate or not. Any questions about that one? They're pretty easy, kind of boring. All right, next one. One of the things that is really helpful for us is that we spend advertising money to get leads for you guys, right? We spend advertising money on our websites, on Facebook ads, on Google ads, and we don't know if that advertising is good because we don't know if the leads coming from them are good or bad. So if you think about it, if you have a minute, go into Bay and mark the leads that you're getting. And this is a little graphic that shows you how to do that. You go to your contacts page, you find the lead, and then you just change the status. And this just helps us on our back end, on our tracking, to know which lead sources are good and which are bad, which we should put our money towards and which we shouldn't. So it helps us if you think about it. If you've been thinking about using the CRM in Package U, this might be a great way to start getting in there and deciding that you really want to pay attention to your contacts and making more contact with your contacts. Any questions about that one?
I am miffed that there are no questions.
I'm just so good. I'm
I know
just so good
Katie's
at my
good.
job.
Yep, I don't deny that one bit at all. For me, though, to say that you all understand this, either A, we're doing something really, really well, or Katie did a great job putting together a graphic. And if you don't say anything or ask any questions, I'm going to assume those two things. And it's okay to ask a question because I promise you, if you're thinking it, somebody else is. And while we've done our best to try to make this make sense and to make it equitable, like it's not always the easiest thing to get, right? And of course, this is just the stuff that we can manage from an online perspective. And that's really about it. So
I have one. Are these leads from all of our sources, or are these leads engine? Are these Bay leads, broker to broker, Cardis, or is it? Because my guess is Cardis is probably different than this a little bit.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So Cardis is different. That's outside of these. These
Okay.
are from our website, from Bay Advertising. Our website has multiple different lead sources that come through. So what's your home worth? We're actually looking at property, or if they do on an agent profile, so they have multiple different lead sources that come through. And then
Okay.
also the Coldwell Banker corporate leads from coldwellbanker.com. Those are these type of leads
I do
that are
have something
coming.
to add to that, and I don't know how many agents on this call go into CB Desk and click on the leads engine tile in there. Is everybody doing that? Because I went in there
Yeah.
last week and I was actually doing a training with a potential new agent, and I clicked on my leads engine, and lo and behold, there was a lead in there. So, and I don't know if we're directed or if we talked about going in there once every other day because I wasn't notified of that lead that came into Leads Engine through CB Desk. And I don't know where that generates from. I think it might have been generated from a website. Is that correct? One of our sites?
Yeah, so Leads Engine would be from Coldwell Banker Corporate. So coldwellbanker.com, right, Brandon?
Mhm.
Yep. And so those are set to go from Leads Engine into Bay so that all of our leads are in one system.
Okay, so once I accepted it into Leads Engine, it did drop it into Bay. But I guess my point
Okay.
is, if any of us are in the uh, you know getting leads pool from corporate, we need to make sure we go in there and check those because that lead actually had been sitting in there since February 20th, and I picked it out of there on the 27th. But I wouldn't even know it was in there if I didn't click on that tile. And maybe I need to set something up different in CB Desk or in that tile so I get notified. Because normally you get an email or a text or
Hmm.
something, and
Yeah,
maybe I did. Sometimes I get a couple texts and they don't uh, they don't really match up with an email. It could be just a text, no email, and you're like, I don't even know where this is. You could accept it on your phone, but that particular lead, it was just sitting in there. I got lucky to click on. I don't know, Brandon, if you've ever had that happen to you, or if that's something we need to look at. And
yeah.
because
No, if
otherwise,
you want,
the thing would have gone away. And she wanted to look at a townhome up here in Fargo, so I kind of got lucky by clicking on that tile.
Yeah, I'm
uh,
guessing it's a halted lead, and something that we can work through offline because all the other leads are once it gets halted, if it's not accepted by an agent, then it'll roll back up to us as managers. But we'll
Okay.
dive into that one. I
All right.
do know that they're working though because we can see the path of the leads for the bulk of them coming through, but it does not include any reload leads because that's special certification and training stuff. So this would just be any of the online traffic in addition to any of the ads that we are running via Meta, YouTube and Google ads right now is kind of where we're spending some lead buy money for the company. So that's what this would be referencing. But that's a good question we'll take offline. Yep.
Gotcha.
mhm.
Other questions on this particular thing? Okay, everybody wave their hands like they just don't care. Okay, thank you, Darcy. Patrick, I see you back there, and don't think I don't see that you're not waving your hands. But you're lucky that Darcy did, because then I know it's not frozen. So we're doing just fine.
It's all about Darcy.
You, you know, Patrick, thank you. I'm glad somebody's finally figured this out. Okay.
Good. Yeah.
And Darcy will be thrilled to hear that as well. That we're all on the same page. Okay. All right. So we had our February challenge submitted to you guys, which was to redo your bio. So here's the fun thing. Number one, many of you said, hey, that was pretty cool. So thank you for that. Those of you who were, in Cancun sitting with, spiked cocktails all week and didn't join us live, but watched it later, still didn't submit it. So notice Keegan's name is not on here. Mrs. Curtis is not on here, but that's fine. We won't judge her for it. She did write a very fantastic bio that I think you should share in the team Facebook group, Keegan, when you have a moment, because it was special. So we can do that. That'll be fun. Anyway, so the challenge, this is what we had that came in. I strongly encourage you guys to still, please, for the love of all things pure and holy, go update your bio. We need to have good content, nice expanded situations and descriptions for who you are, the areas you serve, and all of this. Now, we know that we can get it to feed to all of the things. It still behooves you to go get Zillow, to go get Realtor.com, claim all of your profiles, and get a unique platform specific bio drafted and shared on there too, because that is going to be in your best interest. Now, here comes the fun thing. What we decided going into February as a saying, hey, way to go. One of the things that we're going to come out with is talking through is the idea of, we'll see if my animations work, a free listing concierge package because I really like this tool and not everybody's using it. And so what I'm going to do is reshare my screen because this is a fun new tool. Anybody ever use Flippity, by the way?
Where do you find this stuff?
Yeah, you'd be
Like,
shocked.
seriously.
Let me tell you. You want to know where I found this one? This one came from, you guys know that I like to coach soccer. So right now I was invited into the U.S. Soccer Coaches Educator course, which means I become certified to teach U.S. soccer stuff. Anyway, this is where I learned that tool from. So today we're going to identify who's going to actually win this thing. And it's going to go something like this because I'm not going to let you think that I'm just randomly picking it. But Ashley Nelson's going to get it.
Oh, I'm so glad I came.
Oh, see? Must be present to win, by the way. So that worked out really well. Which is going to be great. So anyway, so Ashley, we will make sure to connect with me since I know you're in the room right over there after the meeting here, and we'll make sure we get this covered for you for whatever listing you want it on. And I think it's a kudos thing. I really like this tool. I shared it in PR, and it's pretty awesome. So anyway, Miss Katie, what are we going to do in March?
So in March, next Tuesday, we're going to talk about using AI to define your perfect pitch. So your 30-second elevator pitch, your 3-minute cocktail party pitch, your 30-minute comprehensive why Mr. Seller or Mrs. Buyer, you should use me because I'm amazing pitch. Now, I know a lot of you already have pieces of this, but this is really going to use AI to make it better and more rounded and more succinct to really help you. And it'll lean into your bios that you've done because now you know why you're a good person. And now we're going to move into why you're a good real estate agent and what we can do with that pitch to help you guys win more listings and more buyer consultations. So join me next Tuesday at 9 o'clock virtually. We'll send out a link towards the end of the week and put it on your calendar.
And if they don't know where to find that link because they accidentally deleted an email or something, Katie, where could they go to find all the trainings and all the meeting links and all the stuff that exists that we're doing for them?
Yes. So if you have not bookmarked the link tree, bookmark the link tree. You can find it on Bay at the top header with all those links. The link tree's in there. It's in Brandon's email every Sunday or Monday when he sends those out at the beginning of the week. That link tree has all of these links. So the mastermind links, the meeting links, and the learning links as well.
We try to make it as simple as possible. And if all of that fails, guess what, team? You can go into Bay, and on the left-hand side, there's a tab that says Calendar, and everything is put in there too. So multiple fronts for you. So please join us. It'll be a great time. And for those of you who are like, I can't make that because I'm busy doing something, totally fine. We will record it. And I'm so sorry, did you talk about what they have to do at the end to qualify for the March prize?
Oh, I did not. Yes. So we want you to submit your 30-second elevator pitch. We're not going to post it anywhere. Just send a video to me after the class of your 30-second elevator pitch to be eligible for the prize that we'll talk about at the next all-team meeting.
How many of you got super panicked? Like, I don't want to do that. That's dumb. Keegan, you're on videos all day long. Shut the front door, okay? Good grief. Here's the deal. It's going to be super easy. No one's going to see it except for you, Katie, and maybe me. We'll see how the day goes, right? You're going to put your phone. You're just going to put it on. You can even lean it against the desk or whatever, and you're just going to say it, and you can, like, close your eyes the whole time if you want to. That's totally fine. We just want you to be able to hear it and walk through it. It's a coaching opportunity, not only for yourself, but it's our way of knowing that you actually did the work too. So it's a really easy thing. I know it's going to be uncomfortable. I know you're not going to like it, but you're going to do awesome. And I promise you, it's going to be great. So do it. And if you don't know how, you can text Keegan and she will help you figure out how to set up a selfie video, and it'll be great. So that's going to be our March challenge as we are inside of here. Our next fun thing is, let's see here. Oh, this is super cool. You guys, we're going to make Faith say something. And if you haven't met Faith yet, maybe she's going to come on camera, maybe she's not. It's a little hard to say at this point in time. But Faith is our marketing guru that's been helping us out here. You're going to start to see a lot more tools from her. You're going to see a lot more awesomeness coming out of all the stuff that she's doing for the team here. So Faith is going to walk you through a new feature that we're bringing to you this month. And now it's Faith's turn.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Looks like it's
Check.
working. I'm so sorry, my camera's not working. I was having a hard time. I don't know if it's because of Zoom or something, so I will not, I swear, I swear. Okay,
Right.
but anyways, so we have this fun new feature. It's a custom production map. You might have seen it posted on all of our office social media pages. Yesterday, we posted this one that I put a screenshot of, and it was just kind of showcasing our 2024 company-wide closings, roughly. It's not exactly correct because obviously there's not 718 little markers on the map, but it's a rough estimate. So we just kind of have this as an opportunity to showcase your real estate transactions. And you can really customize this based on, a specific date range. We did that whole 2024 year, but you could do monthly, you could do quarterly, whatever you want. You can specify based on transaction status or side, property type, and more. And then you can also use this as a video or PDF file. So you could obviously post the video on social media, do a fun little caption, or you could use the PDF file, which would just be a static or stagnant image. It wouldn't be the fun little animation that the video has, but you could put that on your listing or buying presentations. And then I will be sharing some videos for each Coldwell Banker Crown office for their 2024 closings. I'll just be making those soon, and then I'll share those with everyone if you want to post those. But we have a job form request available now, so you can go in there and submit it. I'm going to try to share my screen and see if this works. It says host disabled participant screen sharing. Or unless Brandon,
You can try.
Okay. You cannot start screen share while the other participant is sharing.
Sorry.
I
I'll fix it. I got you.
Okay, I think I got it.
Here it comes. There it is. Yep.
Got it. Okay. Oh, wow. This is weird. Okay. So when you go into it on the top, it kind of shows a preview of that video again. It's just an image because I'm not able to put a video into Jotform, but if you want to see it, there's this link right here, and it just goes to our Facebook page where it's posted, so you can kind of see it in action. I basically just need your name and email just to know who it's coming from and where I need to email it back to. And then you can go into your transaction information. You can put whatever status you want. You can hit other if you have something else. Oops, it's going to show that error, but you can also do your transaction side. And then also your dates that you want the transactions to be mapped. Moving into the property criteria, you can do single family, multifamily, et cetera. You can do one or more. And then you can also do by waterfront property. I think I had selected this before, but if you hit yes, it will ask you if you have any specific criteria that you'd like included with the waterfront properties. So say you want to just do maybe all of your waterfront properties for 2024, this would be a great opportunity to do that. And then you also have this box down here where you can put in any other criteria that you'd like for your transactions. And then you also have a little bit that you can do with map appearance. You can change this top search bar to say whatever you want. I have a few suggestions down here. Otherwise, again, you can fill out your own. And then you can also change the look of the little icon marker. If you hit number 3, this is really the only weird one. It will ask if you want to use your primary headshot. Maybe you want to just do that. Or if you don't want that and you want to either upload a new headshot or use a different image, you can say no. And then you have the opportunity to upload a file. And then the last question really is just if you want the video or PDF file, just based on whatever you want, you can select both and receive both, whatever best suits your needs. And then the last one is just any other information you want me to know. So it's pretty simple, and stop sharing. And that's basically it. So, and I think I said it would take about 1 to 3 business days for a turnaround time on that. But yeah, it's just a great opportunity for you guys to kind of have a fun piece of content to kind of just visualize your closings or your transactions. And I don't know, I just think it's really fun. So yeah, and if you guys have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me, email me, call me, whatever you want.
I love it. I think it's super fun. So you can see the animation here. This is just an example of what that's going to look like. Again, Faith is going to have by office kind of set up and pre-canned, and so we'll get that shared with you guys in the event that maybe you're a new agent and you only had 2 transactions last year, and you're like, my map would look kind of silly. Totally cool. Use the office, use the companies, like use the collective power of what we're doing to make you stand out, whether it's in listing presentations, buyer presentations, just social posts, like whatever you want to do. It's just a different way to interact with people, and I think that visual component just makes it a little bit stickier than saying, oh, I did X number of deals last year, because honestly most consumers don't even care how many deals you did. They just want to know that you had some social proof, like, do you know what you're doing? And that's where you can leverage your own data. If you I want to brand that and you feel like that's what you want to showcase, great, then let's do that, like hyper niche down in your community or your area. And if you don't want to do that, then great. Take the office ones that we build, or you can work with Faith independently in creating something else. So that's kind of I think it's a really neat opportunity and something that we haven't done at the agent level before. And that's the cool part about, having Faith with us, is like being able to bring some of these really neat projects to you guys. So here's a fun thing. How many of you think you know where to find that? Okay. So we'll walk through this again. It's on the Linktree team, right? I think that's the third time we've said it today. We're going to aim for 7 if I can get there in one sitting today. So inside of the Linktree, you can scan that QR code right now. It'll take you to it. And then on the bottom of your iPhone, you Android users, I don't understand you. You're from a different planet. I still love you, but someday I'll help you see the light. You can actually save the Linktree as a bookmark on your device, which is pretty neat. So then it's one click and you're done. But right now it's the topmost level icon that is on there. For you in order to take you right to that. And again, if you're like, I don't know where to find the Linktree, how do I scan a QR code? Totally fine. The URL is right there on the screen. Okay, so you can screenshot it, you can copy it, quick write it down. You can also go to Bay. The quick link's at the top, and it's the first thing down there too. So we got all sorts of ways to try to help you get there. And fun factoid, if you haven't yet, you could also still get your email signature card. That is also still active up there on the forum for you to walk through and begin to take a look at on a little bit of a different scale. A couple of them that I've seen that have come through look really sharp. A couple of you have said, this is really cool. People have commented. Yes, it is really cool. We're trying to help you get a little bit more elevated, and also at the same point in time, protect your data from being scrubbed out of everybody's free email services so that, we are a little bit more compliant. Recently, one of the things we heard was that this was saving people from wire fraud. That's what it was. People are actually scrubbing your emails, right? When they're using the free email platforms, they're scrubbing your email, getting the property address, all that other stuff. That's where the image one is getting to take a little bit of a more prominent approach in online email communication because it's a lot harder to scrub. Now, give it a year and a half and AI is going to learn to scrub it anyway. So, there's that. But hey, for the next year and a half, you can take a next step in protecting you and your clients on anything. So there's a fun little factoid for you. Wanted to remind you again, the Facebook group that is out there. If you are on Facebook, you and I should be friends. If you don't want to be my friend, be Darcy's friend. That's totally fine. Or you can be Katie's friend. You can be Sean's friend. It doesn't matter. They can all invite you into the Facebook group where we try to do some of this other fun stuff. So that's all the good stuff. And if you want to read the really funny story that Keegan wrote about Princess Keegan, you can certainly head to this later today and it will be posted. And I look forward to it. I'm really hoping that she comes up with a nice little graphic to go along with it. So, up your game, Keeganator, and it'll be great. So that's there for you too. Mastermind. So this is something you guys had asked for, and I just want to remind you that this is going to be the third Thursday of the month. We did host one this last go around, and we had a nice small conversation, but we still had a good ones. And a couple of feedback people said, "Well, what are we going to talk about?" And so I said, "Okay, well we can have a more strategic approach." So this one we're going to specifically talk about spring marketing ideas. I have generated a rough draft of about 30 different activities for you to do this spring to generate leads. And I'm hoping to take whatever comes up in this room and add to it. And at the end of that, I'm hopeful to have some nice long PDF that I can share with you as a resource to help you kind of jumpstart that. And if you want it after the mastermind, you're going to have to beg me and do something really nice for me, like bring me an iced coffee, and maybe I'll give you the PDF. If you want the PDF, you got to come to the mastermind. Like I said, I already have 30 that I've generated, and I guarantee you the ones that are going to be in the room are significantly better than what I'm going to bring to you. Maybe. I'm pretty decent at this stuff. So my 30 will probably be pretty good too.
Plus, I want to hear about Vern's new billboard idea for this year.
Yeah, no kidding. I saw that he's on. Chris is smirking, so it must be good, whatever it's going to be. So anyway, so this is at the request of some of you said, well, what are we going to talk about? This is what we came up with for this next go around. Will be spring marketing ideas. If you have something specific you want to talk about, please do know that this conversation, it's an open discussion, right? So we could start with, some marketing ideas, and we could veer off into, I don't even know, something really, really random. Like, should you buy an old dilapidated ice house to put your face on and to park it on the ice? Like, maybe that's an option. Still, one of the best marketing ideas that I've ever heard from Vern Lewis was that ice house that he bought, or that fish house, sorry, that he bought to put on the ice right at the landing. That one still blows my mind. So anyway, who knows what you're going to get when you show up to these things. So this is what we're going to talk about. Hopefully that's meaningful for you guys here. Now, I want to share with you I have a really simple takeaway for you guys. So just real quick, how many of you have been ghosted by a lead before? Client, leads, anybody been ghosted? Okay, a handful of us. I see Patrick is not raising his hand, so clearly he is amazing at follow-up, which is awesome. I wish that I was that good. He's going to teach a class for us later, I promise. So I have been, and it's not always the most exciting thing to have happen to you. But you can still work with it. Okay. And so if you guys haven't read, Chris Voss has a book out there that's called Never Split the Difference, right? It's a negotiation tactics books from a former FBI negotiator. It's a book that I read every year because it's just phenomenal. Anyway, he has a group now that he's no longer in the FBI that he started called the Black Swan Group. And that's where I actually stole this from a couple months ago, and I started using it. And what's great about it is that it is incredibly simple because it's one simple message. And I am a big fan of like really simple messages. The more simple it can be, the better. And the great thing about it is that this one question will give you an answer to what your next step is. And it's as simple as, hey, have you given up on buying in Park Rapids? It's just that simple. Hey, have you given up on listing 123 Main Street? Here's the great thing, because guess what it's going to do? You're going to get an answer. Worst case scenario, let's say they ghost you. What does that tell you?
They don't want one.
Yeah, they gave up. They are not interested. They have given up on 123 Main Street. They have given up on buying that lake home. They have given up on it. Now you know. Right? The other great scenario of this is that now in the event that they can't, it gives the burden of responsibility. It takes it off of you and puts it on the consumer. And it allows for them to re-engage, which has been true for most of the people that I've used this for. I think I've sent it out. I left my note at home. I want to say it was 20-ish, 22-ish people that I've used this on, and I know the number 19 is what all responded back. And out of that, we have a couple of appointments set. We have a couple of follow-ups. A lot of it was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I got so busy with A, B, C, and D. Yeah, totally cool. Do you still want me to engage? Do you still want me to send you listings? What can I do to be of service for you in this busy season? And that's where I found this one simple little trick has really kind of changed that dead lead. So like as Katie pointed out earlier with the lead flow, before you mark something bogus or dead, I would encourage you, this is the one text message you send. I always say give a text message, 24 hours before you respond in today's modern technology. I feel like 24 hours is more than enough time, and that's your answer. If they don't answer, great. Then mark it dead and bogus, non-responsive. Maybe you put them as cold and you put them on your newsletter campaign. Whatever you do is totally fine, but at least you have your answer. And all of the 19 that I've gotten back, which just out of curiosity, I should have done the math, but I didn't. What is that? 86% response rate, all came back with positive with an action step to move forward in the transaction. So this to me was a pretty slick way, whether it's buyers, sellers, and other agents that you're working on. I did this with somebody. We were talking to an agent, and I said, "Hey, send the agent who's not responding this text message. Hey, have you given up on this deal?" Guess what? The agent responded, "Oh, no, we're still putting it together." Okay, great. Thank you. Like, quit being a dummy and let's do our job, right? So it's a simple phrase, but it works. I have not tried this on my spouse yet. However you want to test that theory is totally on you. You know, your significant other, whatever you want to do, you can test it, and I'm all for it. But let me know how it goes. I'm not willing to have that shot, but you can, right? So it's as simple as, hey, have you given up on, and then whatever the item is that you're currently working on. It's a really simple, fast, quick way to move somebody through the lead generation process. And, oh, by the way, I should tell you, when you use it, will you text me and let me know how it went? Just right? I saw a couple of you write it down. Text me when you use it and be like, hey, it worked, or no, this didn't. And that's totally fine either way. But I think you're going to see really good response. I have an 86% response rate, and it's been really helpful in helping to move that deck forward. So as simple as, hey, have you given up on fill in the blank? Neat little tip. You like that one?
Mhm.
Okay. 2 people do. I like it. I want to drop a bomb on you really quick.
I see.
I don't know how many of you actually follow the real estate news, specifically as it relates to competitors. So I'm going to give you a little intel and just keep you updated because I find this to be incredibly fascinating. So the world of Keller Williams. Right now, Keller Williams is a sinking ship. They've gone through 3 CEOs in the last 2.5 years. Gary Keller has had to step back in 4 times to lead this thing. And even though he's tried to retire numerous times, in every single one of our markets, Keller Williams market share is on the downward cycle. Now, many people can attribute that to, oh, they're just jumping ship to the latest and greatest thing. Well, here's a fun thing for you, and I'm sure you guys have seen this circulating around, right? But so a stat came out based upon the NAR research study that said 74% of real estate agents did 0 transactions in 2024. 1.4 million of us, 74% of us did 0 transactions in 2024. Okay. I am happy to say 86% of our agents did at least 1 transaction. So I'm feeling pretty good that we're on the other end of that spectrum. Okay. However, KW's, this is unsubstantiated, but I heard that it was at 94% of their agents did 0 transactions in 2024. Okay. So what in the world are they doing? Well, if you follow some of the news, you might have seen that they recently acquired an investor to come in as a major capital investor into the KW world. Has anybody seen this yet? Okay, so I'm going to share this with you. This is the silly stuff that your friend and broker Brandon likes to read about here. Okay, and this is where it gets really interesting for me anyway. Let me try to blow this up for you. Okay, so Keller Williams announces a strategic partnership to accelerate growth. Okay, check this out just as of yesterday. So this is like fresh, but if you deep dive, which I'm going to show you, you're going to watch KW completely implode. That's my theory is what's going to happen here in probably the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, here's why. An investment from Stone Point Capital is to accelerate long-term growth. Chris joins the leadership team as the new CEO and president. Chris comes mostly from a investment banker background, so that should be kind of a quick note on that. But what's really interesting here, they still say the world's largest real estate franchise. Notice they have to caveat it by agent count, right? Because they're not doing any business anymore, so they got to caveat it. Announced a strategic partnership with funds managed by Stone Point Capital. If you've been around for a couple years and you get really nerdy with me in the weeds, you'll start to hear Stone Point Capital a couple times more. Stone Point Capital is a hedge fund. And here's the fun part of what they do. This is Stone Point Capital, and their primary world is financial institutions that impact the real estate game. Okay. Their big one is mortgage lending, right? They're a massive hedge fund. This is the largest player in real estate today. And here's what's really fun. I want to show you just a couple of fun things. Here's some of their companies, okay, that they are invested in. Notice, stop me when you see any that you maybe recognize as to why this might be interesting, okay? Seeing any, right? Ooh,
CoreLogic.
CoreLogic. Interesting. For those of you who aren't paying attention, right? What is CoreLogic? CoreLogic also is the owner and manufacturer of Matrix. Matrix, in case you're not paying attention, is the front end UI of choice by Northstar MLS. Now, you might say, well, no, I use Flex or I pay for Black Knight. You might, but the database is still housed on CoreLogic servers, and by their user agreement, they have the right to survey the data in order to have data integrity, I believe is the language that they use. Now, they don't have the right to use it yet. I promise you that's coming in a couple of years when everybody has to redo their service agreements and those terms of service that you scroll through and just hit OK. Or there's going to be some fine printed there of what they can do. So not only do they have all of the, or I shouldn't say not all, but not only do they have the majority, 70+%, almost 82% now, I think is the new metric I just heard. 82% of the United States MLSs are backed by CoreLogic databases. Okay, so that's a fun little thing. And then I'm going to keep going down here, a couple other things. You start to see some banks, some mortgage organizations that come inside of here. A couple of recent things, that have recently happened inside of this space. Oh, there's another one. Lone Wolf. Okay. How many of you know what Lone Wolf recently bought? Transaction Desk. Transaction Desk, which, by the way, is our forms delivery, has all of our contractual data that is not public. Probably has your buyer's name in it, probably has the purchase price, probably has the closing date, probably has, all this fun information, financing, cash, all these different pieces of data on the consumer now is, ironically, all being moved to CoreLogic databases and data warehouses because of data integrity. Okay. So that's kind of interesting. So not only did they have all the data, they had all of the active consumer data, but now they start to go into the actual front end of the transaction with a real estate brokerage, the largest by agent count. So if you want to put your tinfoil hats on with me, this is something that you should watch. And the reason that is because now you have all the data and all the people all working for one conglomerate known as Stone Point Capital. Stone Point Capital, you're probably never going to see their name unless you're looking for it or you read SEC filings or all the other stuff that you have to do in order to get through some of this stuff. But this is where the data actually comes through and is ridiculous as it comes into play here. They also have a bunch of other stuff down here at the bottom. 10X, notice that logo looks an awful lot like CoStar. Parent company, right? So they're in the commercial space, just as well as they are the residential space. So I'll put this in the chat for you in case you're just a little bit intrigued by what in the world they're doing. So when we start talking about, new strategic partnerships, and Gary Keller once again tries to step out of Keller Williams, and you get this new guy coming in whose real estate background is limited, it's going to be an interesting thing to see what happens. If we were to follow the track record, in about 14 to 16 months, this Chris guy is going to be gone, and they'll appoint somebody new at right before their next family reunion. I think that's what they call them, is family reunions. Anyway, their big conference anyway. So this is just something that as I was scrolling last night that I found to be absolutely phenomenal. I wanted to share it with you because I think it's kind of a big deal, and it's an important thing to note as you go through. Don't know what this is going to look like for Keller Williams. I have no idea with their agents and their data, if they're using their platforms, is their data safe? Probably is for a period of time. But again, once all of those service contracts get renewed, they will have new terms of service in there. I promise you that will allow the CRM of all those agents data to be tied in and scrubbed against, Lone Wolf's database with everybody who's running Transaction Desk, who's also going to be tied to all of the data of the MLS, pending, closed, actives, expireds, withhelds. Because remember, withhelds are even in MLS, so that data pool is still readily available for the servicers who can scrub the data.
Brendan.
Yes.
Did I see that correctly that Central Mint bought the Little Falls Keller Williams?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Again, Keller Williams, it's like a sinking ship. There's a bomb going off. So I think a lot of the smarter agents, I think, are going to start to jump ship pretty quick. So just a fun little factoid to share with you guys. It's so good, you guys. It's so fun. Okay. With that is all that I have for you today. It is 9:52. I will gladly stick around for questions, comments, concerns. Otherwise, I can leave you, those of you who are gathered and huddled together, for needs and wants and whatever else you guys want to talk about inside of your space. But I thank you. Don't forget to join us for Masterminds. And we have what's the other thing, Katie?
Pitch Perfect next Tuesday at 9:00.
Yeah, and if you're looking for your production map or something to add in to your presentation documents, whether it's a still static image or a visual component being motion, that's super cool, by the way. Make sure that you hit the link tree, and then Faith will be able to work with you guys directly on some of that. Ashley, you and I are going to connect on Listing Concierge because you were the lucky winner, and that'll be super fun. So thank you guys very much. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you next time. Thanks, friends.